Take Back Your Health Now, Episode 87. Information contained in this podcast is not medical advice. It is for educational and informational purposes only. Please consult with your doctor before making any health choices.
You're listening to the Take Back Your Health Now podcast, the show that interviews the top doctors, athletes, trainers, and entrepreneurs to help you find the holy grail of health. Now here's your host, Dr. Dan Margolin.
Hey, this is Dr. Dan Margolin with another segment of Take Back Your Health Now, where we pull out all the stops in search of health's holy grail. We have definitely an interesting interview today about a new sort of a new technology. We have Dr. David Silverman. He is a retired board-certified podiatric surgeon and private practice owner. He's an international wellness entrepreneur, educator, and speaker. Dr. Silverman is an ASEA Triple Diamond executive, as well as an ASEA medical professional board member. He's a married father of 3 kids. He lives outside of Washington, D.C. Dr. David Silverman, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Margolin. Nice to be here.
We're excited to have you on board. So, Doc, let's talk. We're going to talk today a little bit about something that I'm not that familiar with. It's called Redox signaling molecules. And this is a relatively new technology. I know the Huffington Post, there was an article several years ago that listed these as this is one of the upcoming technologies, I guess, that will affect our lives in the future. Can you just give us a brief segment on it? We'll go into a little bit more detail, and then just give us your background, how you got involved in it, and then we'll go into more detail of what it is.
Sure, absolutely. And that article actually in Huffington Post was last June. It was a pretty amazing article.
What did it say? Yeah, what did it say?
Well, it was about, look, when breakthroughs occur, the masses don't know that they're coming, right? Only the scientists that have developed the breakthrough know, whether it's the light bulb or the airplane or whatever. And nobody believes it because no one's ever seen it before. And Huffington Post, I think it was June 13th of last year, people can just Google search it, 5 emerging technologies that will shape our lives in the coming years. And organically, there were about 5 things that were there. And one of them was redox signaling molecules. And it basically says, pay attention. Some of these things could affect your lives in a big way in the coming years. And so that's when the article was written, and it's starting to take off now. And it says these are game-changing technologies that are starting to take off in 2016.
Wow.
So that's my background, Dan. I'm from Maryland. I went to the University of Maryland as a biology major, went to podiatry school in Chicago, and then did a postgraduate training program, became board certified in foot surgery, foot orthopedics, primary podiatric medicine, owned my own practice, and my own surgery center, and I've sold it. I was introduced to this world of natural healing, meaning helping the body heal itself instead of, target specific drug usage, which there's a need for it. I'm not.
Right.
I've just seen too many people get off of medications with too many natural things. And so I was introduced to this by a friend, actually, to this ASEA, this Redox product. And she had no idea my dad had a grave prostate issue when she brought it to me. But that was my initial driver, my motivator to really look into it, Dan.
Unbelievable. So tell us about it, because again, you're talking to somebody that's heard about it a little bit. I mean, the reason I even got you on this show is I've actually had patients, several of them come to me and say, hey, do you know about redox signaling molecules? And after the third person came to me, I said, I don't know anything about this. So go back to what is this? What tell us about how this was discovered, what it actually is, how, just give us the whole spiel.
Sure. I'll try to do it in a nutshell. And by the way, when breakthroughs occur like this, they just sound too good to be true. And I understand that. When my friend brought it to me, it sounded too good to be true. But again, my driver was my father. So I realized I cannot not. But with breakthroughs, when they occur, the masses don't generally believe it until they see it on television or they experience it.
Right.
Once there's an experience. So remind me to tell you a very fast way for anybody to experience it. I mean, within 10 minutes so that they know that it's real. So What redox signaling molecules are really reductants and oxidants, and they're produced inside of our cells in the mitochondria. And deep science, there's a site called theredoxdoc.com, so people that want more than what I'm going to give them now can get it. But bottom line is this. Our cells produce redox signaling molecules, reductants and oxidants in our mitochondria in our cells. You're producing them now. We all produce the same ones. They're identical. The ones in you are the same as in me and 7 billion people on the planet. Something happens at puberty. Our mitochondria become less efficient, less numerous. We start producing less and less of these reductants and oxidants, redox signaling molecules. And all you have to do to understand what this product is, because this product is redox signaling molecules. It is identical to what's in all of us. And people say, well, why would I want to put it on my skin or drink it? Because at puberty, we start producing less. Throughout our life, we go downhill in production, and you can see to us after puberty. Every decade of life, we slow down. We have more health issues. We don't heal as quickly. We get wrinkles. All these things happen, and they get worse. It gets worse and worse as we get older until we die, basically. And people may say, well, an 18-year-old is just as healthy as an 8-year-old. One's before puberty and one isn't. But that's not true, because if an 8-year-old has a tonsillectomy or an injury, they heal faster than an 18-year-old. Something definitely happens at puberty, and what happens is we start producing less of these redox molecules. So two functions in the body that are known, and you can see that at that website. One is they activate and stimulate your body to produce more of its master antioxidants like glutathione.
What is an antioxidant? What does that do?
Antioxidant binds up excess oxidants. Oxidants, we rust as we get older. That's what oxidation is.
Okay.
And it's interesting you ask, because redox molecules are half reductants and they're half oxidants. So we need oxidants. Right now, Western medicine feels like, oxidants. If we don't have oxidants, we die. And I'll tell you why in a second. But it's a matter of, do we have too many, right? So as we pass puberty, we reduce the production of reductants and oxidants, but they also become out of balance. And our oxidants, we have more oxidants than reductants. So when people take antioxidants, it's bringing them back into balance, but the number is still lower. Does that make sense?
Just say it again. Let me just grasp around. I lost it a little bit. Just
okay. So our mitochondria are producing reductants and oxidants. After puberty, we start producing less, and they become out of balance. We have, because of exposure to toxins and different things, our oxidants outnumber our reductants. They're no longer balanced, and we're oxidizing. So when people take antioxidants, which are great, and they bind up those extra oxidants, they're getting rid of them, and they're bringing them a little more into balance, the reductants and oxidants into balance, but the number is still lower than it was at puberty.
Understood. Okay,
right?
gotcha.
The reductant part of it's very important, because that's what activates our glutathione so that we can bind excess free radicals and oxidants and so forth. But here's the part that people, when they understand this, and I'll tell you in literally 90 seconds, starts to make sense, because when you hear people talking about, gee, my liver problem is better, my eye problem is better, my hearing is better, my energy is better, my mood is better, prostate is better. When people report those things anecdotally, the average person would say, there's not one thing that can do that. It's impossible. I don't believe it. Well, it's the reason is the product isn't doing it. Because what redox molecules do is they amplify the intercellular signaling in your body. This is critical, because any problem a person has, prostate, liver, bone, skin, retina, it's always a cellular problem.
I just interviewed a Dr. Travis Christofferson, who wrote a book on cancer. And it was probably one of the premier books up to this date. And it really analyzed what the difference is between cancer cells. And it seems to all come down to the mitochondria, right? This is really the basis of his book and basis of the interview, that the mitochondria are actually in some way malfunctioning, and they're going back to more of an anaerobic state, and they're no longer potentially communicating well with the nucleus and that kind of thing. So to some degree, what you're saying sort of fits in with, I'm just trying to almost get that, the concept. So is this allowing the mitochondria to communicate more efficiently with the nucleus? Is that along the same kind of concept?
It's all about communication. And let's have an example. Let's say your 5-year-old child falls down and skins their knee, right? And they're bleeding, and there's some skin. That's cellular damage. In a week, it's going to look healed, right? Children heal very quickly. You have
Right.
a 30-year-old do it. It's an 80-year-old. It may not heal. They could have become a lot of problems. How does the body know that there's damaged cells, right? Those are damaged cells, but they could be mutating cells inside of us we don't see, just worn out cells. The immune system cells have to be called in to put this, it's called apoptosis, to get rid of the bad cells, and then good cells replicate themselves and take their place. So it happens much faster in younger people.
Right.
So a signal is sent out from the adjacent cells that are not damaged to the immune system cells that are circulating body like little fire trucks and ambulances. They're waiting for a signal, like a 911 call. They get the 911 call. If it's a good signal, they get the call and they go down to the knee and start getting rid of the bad cells so new cells can take their place. If the signal is not loud enough, if it's muffled, then the fire trucks and the ambulances or the immune system cells don't hear the signal clearly.
Oh,
and
I
as
got
we
you.
get
Okay.
older, we produce less and less molecules, so the signal gets muffled and muffled and muffled as we get older. Now, it could be mutating cells. It could be damaged cells from trauma, just worn out cells. Redox molecules do, simplified. They amplify and clarify the signaling in the body. So it doesn't matter what kind of cell is damaged, if it's liver, kidney, bone, anything. If the immune system can hear, then it can take care of the problem. And that's why you see younger people have so many less health issues and things deteriorate as we get older.
Understood. Understood. So basically, what this is doing, it's almost just throughout the whole body, allowing for a more boisterous communication system.
That's
Actually.
exactly right. Phone, Dan. You know, with a cell phone, if I have good signal, I can call my wife, I can call my friend, I can order a pizza, I can call 911. My neighbor's house is on fire. But if I don't have good bars, they can't hear what I'm saying. And this is the simplest analogy as to what redox molecules are in your body now. And this company, these scientists, found a way to create them outside the body, identical to inside, which the safety part of it, there are 3 factors makes it like, why wouldn't I try this? Why wouldn't I have my father try this, my child? Because no one can be allergic to it. It's in everybody. It's literally made from saline. Your cells make reductants and oxidants from 4 atoms: sodium, chloride, hydrogen, and oxygen, because that's what our cells are filled with.
Yeah.
These scientists found a way to make it from the same thing. So there's no toxicity, no chance of allergy, and it doesn't interfere with medicines. And if you drink too much of it, it's not metabolized for the kidney. It just turns back into saline if you have too much, which is what we're filled with anyway. So it really is a breakthrough.
How did they do this?
It's amazing. If you go to pubmed.gov, and you put in search redox signaling molecules or redox signaling, you'll find about 16,000 studies on this. They've been studying this since the early 90s. I graduated in the 80s. We were told that reductants and oxidants were a useless byproduct during the Krebs cycle, during production of ATP.
Right.
But I found when I researched this for my father in December of 2010, that this whole science had emerged in the 90s. There are textbooks on redox signaling biochemistry, journals on it, but nobody could make, other labs could make the molecules outside the body, but it was considered a physical impossibility to stabilize them. Reductants are negative, oxidants are positive, and to put them in the same vessel, they could do it, but within minutes they would turn. And they're the only people that could get benefit from this product, even during its development, was people who drank it. Now there's a topical version too, which I can tell you in a minute. Anybody that's hurting, that has something that hurts them, they rub it on, and in a few minutes they're like, okay, this is amazing. But they found a way to stabilize them, and now it's marketable. Now you don't have to drink it in the lab. Now it has a year shelf life on it.
Wow. So it would actually stay good. It would stabilize for that length of time.
Yeah, which was really, honestly, if you look at the literature, Dan, it was felt to be a physical impossibility. A company tried to buy this based out of New Jersey, and they didn't believe it that this group of scientists had done this, and they went out and they actually offered them a ridiculous amount of money for it because they saw that they had done it. And the founders of the company said no. They really felt that two things: the drug company could have just buried it, and so that's why it's marketed just as a supplement. And number two, it takes about $1 billion to run a drug, if it's deemed a drug, through trials for any one indication. It could take 50 years for it to come out. And drug companies of a product like this, they wouldn't charge $120 a month for it. They'd be charging probably $5,000 a month for it because it really is a miracle.
Well, let's talk. I mean, if it's okay with you, tell us about your dad. So you said your dad had, I don't know if you can or want to go into that at all, but what happened with your dad?
So my dad was not my aha moment with this product. My dad was about to start his treatment, which they were using radiation and hormone therapy, well-known hospital in Baltimore. And I've been in natural medicine for a while, so I was researching everything I could do that could possibly help my dad's immune system attack his abnormal cells, in addition to what they were doing with this beam of radiation. He was not going to forego treatment for just natural treatment. I urged him to, but he didn't. So this was one of about 6 different things I had him doing. I had him on several other things. So about 2 weeks into his 3 months of treatment, I said, "How you feeling?" He's like, "I feel fantastic." And they said by then he wouldn't be feeling good. Back problem and an ankle problem that seemed to disappear. Now, Dan, I'm pragmatic. I didn't, too many variables. I didn't know if it was the ASEA. I didn't know if it was the mushroom supplement. I didn't know what it was. So my dad stayed on it for the 3 months, and he's still on all of those things. Well, now he's not on all of them. He's just on the ASEA. But we didn't know what was making him do so well, right? And he's fine now. It was about 8 months later, my podiatry school classmate was complaining about bad joint problems. And we can't use medical terms. People know what I mean. Bad joint problems in his knee and his back, bone on bone. And I told him, and he's in drug research now. He left podiatry, he's in drug research. I didn't think he was going to try it, but he tried it. 3 weeks later, he said, "This is a placebo, but I am better. I played golf. I'm not hurting." And quite frankly, just real quickly, the moment I knew this was real was we laughed and said it must be a placebo, but you know what? Placebos won't last. If you got bone on bone, it ain't going to last. Well, call me in a few months or a few weeks. Tell me how you're doing. Well, a week later, he called me and he said, "This stuff is real." And I said, "Well, why do you say that now? It's only been a week." Lesions in my armpits that dangle, they grow, they're disgusting. And I'm putting on deodorant. I just noticed that they're all gone. And that was the moment, because those are abnormal cells. Children don't have skin cells. Children don't have bone on bone problems. And that's when we started realizing that there was something to this, that it's a cellular health product. And when you have abnormal cells in your body, your younger people's immune system get rid of them before they become a problem. Skin lesions in your armpit are not going to put any just unattractive. Well, so are wrinkles. This product works for wrinkles and cellulite too. So that was my dad's story. He's fine today.
I have a question. Your friend that lost the underarm lesions, was that topical or oral?
At that point, there was only the oral version. So you drink like 4 to 8 ounces a day of it. You're just boosting your levels of redox molecules up to where they were, right? That was back in 2011. That's when he started on it, end of 2011. And that's when I got on it, taking until his skin lesions fell off. Just oral. Now in 2014, they came out with a topical that's marketed for anti-aging. I mean, people love, that's not the most important benefit, but hey, whatever gets people in the door to Redox, to knowing this is real, is fine. And now there's a topical. Now the topical's kind of neat because within 10 minutes, if people are hurting, not everybody has things that hurt: knee, back, neck, hand, cramp. But a lot of people do. Muscles, joints. We don't make any medical claims with it. Not a drug, so we can't make any claims. But if someone's hurting and they're like, "Well, show me double-blind studies on arthritis. Show me this, show me that," the company's not doing studies on that. That would make it a drug. They are not there. It's an FDA supplement, FDA approved supplement. It's an FDA registered facility and an NSF facility where they make this product. It takes about 3.5 days to do it, but we can't make claims. So if someone's hurting, Dan, I'm like, "Look, here's the gel. It's made from salt and water, or it's patented," and that's kind of created the opportunity here. It's patented. But just take the gel and rate your discomfort on a 1 to 10, and you tell me what happens in 10 minutes or less. And all they do is put it on 3 times in 5 minutes, I shot a video 3times in 5minutes.com. It's a 6-minute, shows you how to do it. And in 10 minutes, they draw their own conclusion. And it is pretty amazing to see the faces on people, Dan, when you do that.
That's crazy, man. That's unbelievable. I mean, what other, like, so what other benefits do people see from this? Like, what would be some of the other things?
Well, again, we can't make claims, but people say, well, it helped me with this. I have a nerve problem. Well, help me with this. I have an energy problem. Well, help me with this. I have a skin problem. That's the thing about this, Dan. Every problem that a human being or animal can have is a cellular problem. It's every cell's different. I mean, a skin cell is different than a bone cell, but they're cells. And if you look at what you see in children compared to aging adults as they, I have people that have seen the movie Cocoon, when they
yes,
jump in the pool
yes,
and they're jumping around. As I say, it's a breakthrough. It sounds too good to be true to people. Huffington Post hit it right on the head. Everybody is going to know about this within the next 3 to 4 years. It's just a matter of how quickly they say, let me give it a try.
Dr. Dave, let me get this straight. So are you saying in the movie Cocoon, people were actually jumping into ASEA?
Well, you know what? It's funny because one of the reductants in it is hypochlorite in this product, and it's non-toxic, but it some people say it tastes like water. Some people say it tastes like just mild salt water, and some people actually it tastes a little bit like swimming pool water at the beginning. Now, when their glutathione goes up and they detox, it starts tasting like water. But it's funny you said that, because some people say it actually tastes a little bit like pool water sometimes.
Is there like, what would be a negative side effect to this, or is there any negative side effects to it?
Well, that's the amazing thing about it. There's no downside to this. It's inside of everybody. You're raising the levels of it. The only thing that could happen at the beginning is, I don't know if you're familiar with detoxification, I imagine so, but
Sure.
When you raise your levels of glutathione, your body will detox. You'll start pulling toxins out of your cells that are stored there, that are just sitting there, that should not be in your body. And when you boost your levels of glutathione, glutathione will pull it out, and it goes into your bloodstream, and you want to urinate it out. So you want to drink the product. There's very specific some people take it completely wrong and get amazing results, but I'd say people, look, if you're going to do it, it comes with a money back guarantee for 30 days. You should commit to do it for 90, but I want to get people to see something in 30 days. I really, really do. And I want them to take it properly. So I don't have them drink a ton of it at the beginning. I'd love to have them to drink the whole bottle, but I don't, because of the detox. So some people could get a slight headache. They could get a little bit of a rash. It's less than 10% of people. But if they understand detox, they know, hey, this is a good thing. Let me cleanse my body. Let's get it out on without having these bad things in my body.
Sure. I've tried some detoxifications where basically what happens is some of the poisons that are actually stored in your fat cells are released, and you almost go through a little bit of whatever the symptom was originally. So maybe that's what's happening.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, no, I understand. Well, let me ask you, when you speak with other medical professionals, what type of reaction do you get?
Well, I'll tell you, it sometimes they puff up their chests and say, I don't believe it, but people are people. And I found that whether they're doctors, there's 6 reasons why people take this seriously, that they don't dismiss it, right? And it's usually a personal thing. Number one, they either have a health issue themselves. So I'm sitting with a doctor and he's got a bad neck. It's like, I'll try it. I have nothing to lose. But if he has a daughter that has an issue, or a wife or a mother that has an issue, sometimes they'll investigate it, which is the second reason, for someone that they love. Third is the anti-aging. People want to look younger, whether they're a doctor or not. 4 is athletic performance goes through the roof with this product. We have Olympic gold medalists on this product. There's no banned substances. It's made from salt and water. I mean, it's
Yeah, you can't get more basic than that.
Yeah, and then people who are into protecting their health. We can't claim it prevents anything because it's not a drug, but people that get the idea of vitamins and supplementation and would rather not have a problem arise. And the last reason why people look at it is the opportunity. It's a patented product. It's marketed through word of mouth marketing, which means anybody can market this and make money. So the top 3 reasons people look at it, it could be a doctor, is they have an issue themselves, they love somebody that has an issue, or they want to look younger. The business part of it doesn't really click until they see it work.
Yeah, no, you're right. You have to actually believe in it. And that, to do that, you actually have to experience yourself.
Yeah.
Wow, that is awesome. Dr. Silverman, I want to thank you for that. Let me ask you, the whole concept of our show is we're in search of health's holy grail, right? So if I were to pose to you the question, like, what do you think health's holy grail is? What would that be, sir? I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
No, you're not putting me on the spot at all because I know what my answer is. And I've been in natural medicine now since 1997, when my mother had a horrible pain problem called reflex sympathetic dystrophy. And a friend of mine said, "Have you tried using magnets?" And I said, "Magnets?" He put it on. Magnets work, right? I mean, you see limping dogs stop limping half the time, it works. So there are so many things out there that really work, Dan, but I've never seen anything as foundational as this. And that was 20 years ago. I think what you will find is that in the next few years, people that they get on this product now, maybe because of this conversation or someone that brought it to them and they do it, they're going to probably come to the same conclusion that this is a miracle. This is a science-based miracle. And it can be layered on top of anything or underneath anything anybody's doing. Drug therapy, hormone therapy, supplement therapy. They just baseline everything in their health where they are when they start, and they start using the product. No other. Watch what happens. I think this is the holy grail.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. Let me ask you a question. Is there anything that they'd be on that would contraindicate them taking this, like certain vitamins or anything at all that would be a contraindication?
No, because it's inside of them already. So the only thing I tell people to be careful with, the only thing, Dan, is people that have blood sugar problems. And the reason is that if they're giving themselves a medication or a shot, and for some reason their pancreas cells started functioning properly or more properly, but if they were to do that, and then they go ahead and they give themselves an injection, they could push their sugar too low. So we tell people with sugar issues, just keep a close tab on your sugar. You know what your sugar is every morning. You should have a journal. If not, do it. And then check it every morning to make sure. And we don't ever tell people to stop medications. If someone's joint problems go away, we're like, hey, call your doctor. If their mood gets better, call your doctor. If their sleep gets better, call your doctor. We don't tell people to change their medicines. They need to talk to their doctor about medication change. But we want them to watch.
I interviewed Dr. Joel Furman. He's one of the top nutritionists in the country, and he was saying similarly, same thing with when you change a person's diet. We were talking actually about diabetes 1, diabetes 2, and how, through diet, you can actually reverse that. And it's almost the same thing you're saying, where when you really radically change your diet, you get away from the diet drinks and all that kind of crap, the sugars start to get under control, and the medications can actually create a different scenario. So totally appreciate that. Dr. Silverman, so awesome interview. Let me ask you, if people want to learn more about you, get more information, how would they do that, sir?
Okay, well, I'll tell you a couple of contact numbers for people. Dr. Frank Colabella is a doctor up in the New York area, and I'm going to give his cell phone number because he asked me to do that, and he's the one that really introduced me to you, Dan. So his cell phone number is 908-285-3217, 285-3217, that's probably the best way to get a hold of anybody. I shot a short video. It's 6 minutes, 6reasons.com with the number 6 minutes, 6reasons.com. And my email address, if people want it, is drdavidsilverman@gmail.com, drdavidsilverman@gmail.com.
Dr. David Silverman, I want to thank you for an awesome interview. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. I really appreciate the opportunity.
This episode is sponsored by New Jersey Foot and Ankle Center in Oradell, New Jersey. Remember, when you have a foot problem, you've got a foot doctor in the family. Weekend and evening appointments are available. Call us at 201-261-9445. Once again, that's 201-261-9445. Thanks for listening. Check out the show notes over at drdanspeaks.com. If you're loving the show, head over to iTunes and leave us a review, and we'll catch you next time.